6 o'clock. I'm going to call this meeting to order. City of Anamosa City Council agenda regular session, Monday, June 14th, 2021, 6 p.m. Anamosa Library Learning Center and also via Zoom. 1.0 roll call.
Crump,
Here.
Smith,
Here.
Muckert,
Here.
Zumba,
Here.
Stout, Capron,
Here.
Note all council members are present. 2.0 Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
She's here or not.
Rebecca, looks like we have a small crowd joining us virtually. Would you go through the regular instructions how to gain acknowledgement for questions with the council?
Sure. It looks like everybody else has joined using a computer, so I'll just let you know that you can either send me a message in the chat to let me know that you'd like to speak, and I will let you know when I have unmuted you. The other option is to use the raise your hand function, which you should be able to find under the reactions tab if you're on a laptop or desktop computer. I think on a mobile device, there should be a ... or a more option somewhere, and that should get you the raise your hand option. And just as a reminder, Kay, if you accidentally mute yourself, *9 lets me know that I need to unmute you again. So that's
Thank
all.
you.
Thanks, Rebecca. 3.0 approval of agenda.
Second.
Motion by Jeff, second by Alan. Any discussion about the agenda as it's before us?
Jeff, could you double check that your mic is on?
Can you hear me?
It was very quiet.
Top,
Rotate it on.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'll just move it back.
So we have a motion by Jeff, second by Alan to approve the agenda as submitted. All those in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. 4.0 motion to approve minutes from the following meetings. 4.1 May 4th, 2021, regular council meeting.
Move to approve. Second.
A motion by Rich, second by John to approve the minutes as submitted. Is there any discussion or corrections? Not hearing any. All those in favor of approving the council minutes as submitted signify with aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries unanimously. 5.0 public hearings, none. 6.0 proclamations, none. 7.0 old business. 7.1 Ragbright Committee update.
Leanna Boone. Last week, the free ride came through on Thursday. It was hosted by the Hospitality Committee. They met at Tucker's. Teresa made a lot of pizzas for them. We all really enjoyed it. Took some pictures outside Tucker's. They went to a sculpture the next morning before they left town, and they took a group picture there. The Campground Committee, Public Safety has been working with Christy from the GIS office to update the map. So we're trying to finalize that. We're still shipping shirts all over. Today they went from New York to California. And T-shirt Thursday is starting this week, hosted by the Hospitality Committee. Questions about anything?
How many vendors do you have signed up?
I believe with the churches and all the nonprofits, about 21.
That includes all the outside vendors and everything?
Yep.
Have we received the first funding from whatever it is, the
Nothing
reg
yet.
right? Because they were supposed to do that 60 days beforehand.
I haven't seen anything.
So they're in breach of contract already. You want to check with the city attorney on that?
Was it 60 days?
The first installment was
60
60 days. Because the first installment was 60, then the second installment was 30.
Other questions?
Thanks, Leanna, for the update. 7.2, resolution approving purchase and lease agreements for the sale and conveyance of 100 East First Street, Anamosa, Iowa.
Both
Have there
the-
been any comments?
I haven't had any comments. And
Move
both
to approve.
Second.
A motion by Kay, second by Rich, to approve the lease agreement for the sale of 100 East First Street. Any further council discussion?
just that both Kjor and our attorney have reviewed the documents and everybody was on the same page.
Good
And
to
we got,
know.
and we got the abstract today, so we're moving along.
All those in favor with the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
Aye.
Motion carried unanimous. 7.3, project update, HR Green Engineering. Rebecca, they may be joining us virtually.
I don't know if anyone was going to join us, but if you have any questions, I've kind of gone through the engineering report. They've kind of included quite a bit of stuff in there.
Can we back up? That resolution, did that not require individual votes?
Oh, it is. It's a roll.
I didn't see, it doesn't say roll vote here, so
Thank you.
would you conduct a roll vote for 7.2, Beth?
Smith,
Yes.
Mockhart,
Yes.
Capron,
Yes.
Stout,
Yes.
Zumba,
Yes.
Crump.
Yes.
7.2, motion carried unanimous. Moving on, 7.3. Is there any questions that Beth may be able to answer regarding the project updates?
Have we given any indication of when the underground work starts?
As far as like Sycamore Street,
Mhm.
we're probably not gonna bid it till next season because it's kind of late this year. And I'm still waiting to get the easement done for the retaining wall
Oh, yeah.
at that corner. It is a lower retaining wall, so it's not quite the 6-foot tall one that they were talking about at one time, but that's all I'm waiting for. The
Okay.
attorney's supposed to get me an agreement and then I have the map already, so.
Okay.
Any other questions?
And when are they planning on the well again?
So the well, we've got the schedule for the bid documents. So it's, I mean, everything's gonna be moving pretty fast once
Okay.
they're final. So I think we're going up for bid probably in July.
Good.
I think. I can send you out the bid schedule too. It was just preliminary at this point, but
Okay.
we're close.
There's no other questions or comments. I'm gonna move to new business. 8.0, new business. 8.1, discussion and possible action on housing program application. Tracy Aukenbach. Community Development and Housing Director, East Central Iowa Council of Governments.
Thanks, Mayor. Hi, Council. Okay, so did they get this
Would you
sheet?
just please
They did.
restate your name?
Oh, I'm sorry, Tracy Achenbach from ECOG. They got this sheet in their packets? Okay,
Yep.
okay. So the reason I think that Beth reached out or I reached out, we sent out information about this is because last year, the Iowa Economic Development Authority at the state decided to change how they would do housing applications for CDBG funds. So years ago, and I hate to say I've been around long enough, but years ago, about 25 years ago, 20 years ago, they used to just process the applications first come, first serve from communities and didn't require a specific local match. And then it got too popular, so they changed it to where it was a competitive process and communities had to guess how much money they needed to put in order to get funded. And so this is for owner occupied housing rehab. So what the state did last year was change how they decided to do it. So they're back to doing applications at the state. They're accepting them first come, first serve. Cities are not required to, number one, it was for a long time, cities had to identify a target area and only allow applicants, homeowners in that area be eligible. Now you do not have to identify a target area. And you as a city don't have to put in any local match toward the application. So last year, I ended up submitting 6 applications for communities and worked hard to get them in because I didn't want to go to the work of doing it unless I wanted the cities to have the best chance to get funded. So this year, they just had the application workshop May 23rd or 4th, I believe. And they announced that they're doing them the same this year. And it really is an opportunity for communities to apply. The way that, but they've also divided up how the program works. So a community can apply to do a program that will remove architectural barriers for homeowners. So that would be to allow them to stay in their homes longer. So this, in order to qualify for that, homeowners have to be 60 or older, which IEDA calls elderly, which I don't like because that means I qualify. But anyway, for elderly, older, severely disabled individuals, and they have a paragraph about this long of what that means. So or a city can apply to do energy efficiency improvements for homeowners. So homeowners would identify that that's what they were interested in. Or last year, what we did because of COVID, we submitted applications for exterior improvements because then that way we thought at the time we weren't going to have to go into the homes. But as it turns out, ECOG's housing inspector has to go in and determine if there's any lead hazards on the inside. And if they are, the state gives you funds to be able to deal with that. So one of the things that we have to do is identify who the homeowners are before we ever apply to the state. And so one of the reasons why Beth has on your agenda tonight is whether you want to move forward, because I really think cities have to act on it soon. And, for one reason, to get that word out to homeowners to see if they would want to apply. So something that we have done in a couple other communities is we've identified, because this year I can combine an application with architectural barriers and exterior improvements. We can't do the same activity on the same home, but we can submit an application that has maybe, let's say, 4 that are going to be exterior improvements and 2 that are going to do architectural barriers, depending on what your homeowners that apply to the program. So the way it would work is if you decide to move forward, I would get to Beth probably tomorrow because I would want it announced as soon as possible. We have a little poster and then, she could maybe write up a little blurb that would go out on Facebook, or I don't know if that would be what you would use, or however you would try to advertise to the homeowners. And then the homeowners would submit applications to us. We have to verify their incomes, and we have to also start the environmental review process for those particular homes. And there's one thing that is different for us, from working with us, that normally we write an application for free for a city and then ask that you use us to administer the grant. This one, we decided last year to charge a $3,000 application fee just because we have to do a lot of work that used to be required after you got funded. We have to do it now in advance of submitting the application. So that would be a cost to you, that $3,000. But once the grant is funded, then you don't have to pay anything else. I think the city administrator in Central City said that she had a cost for the public hearing, which was like $14.56. Otherwise, it really hasn't cost the city other than, you'll be the recipient of the funds. So we'll of course provide the paperwork and things just like with any CDBG project to Beth, but the city would still have to cut the checks for the project, and then we would ask for reimbursement from the state. So I don't know if it's something that you're interested in. It's an opportunity for cities to take advantage of not having to come up with any money in the application. It's not a competitive process. It's all about as fast as you can get the application in there. And that's really contingent on how fast homeowners get back to us. And last year in the month of June, I worked every weekend because I was trying to get applications done and submitted for cities. So anyway, I'd answer questions. Do I have you dumbfounded? The application itself to IEDA.
So for the city to apply for a lump sum then?
Jeff, your microphone still doesn't appear to be working. Could you move closer to it?
My question was the 3,000 just a one-time application for the city or for each individual homeowner they got?
It's not individual homeowner, it's actually per 6. Because one of the things I've realized, because I just quickly tried to get this rolled out, but one of the things that I realized is we have a cap of 6 homeowners unless we're combining architectural barrier and exterior improvements, and it's possible that you could be applying for more. And I would just have to see how much extra time that's taking, like if we end up submitting for 8, because 2 of them are architectural barriers or something. But each activity, you have a maximum of 6. So it's $3,000, and that's why the agreement is for $3,000 right now, because I'm thinking if you wanted to do it, we'd roll it out, see what kind of response we get from your homeowners. What I did last year, I didn't invoice cities until after the application went down, and I suspected that they were going to get funded. But if it should happen that, they get a lot of applications, last year was a little bit different story. I took advantage of the fact that it was COVID probably and tried to get them down there. I don't know what it'll be like this year because they're doing it a couple months later than they did last year. So I don't know, I'll get them done as soon as we can, as soon as we get homeowner applications in. If you don't get funded this year, the next year, assuming that they have it set up the same, we wouldn't charge you again next year. We would just, do the application again and submit it. But anyway.
So you're saying there's up to roughly 6 applicants. So you take it up to 508,000. So you're talking up to like 85,000 per applicant potentially.
85,000.
It says up the maximum award to the community is 508,000.
Now, well, that's 508 if you would do I think the 508 is misleading. Because it's really then talking about the maximum that can be spent on a house is 25,000 for regular rehab activity. And then there's an additional amount for lead base paint activity. But I think the reason the amount is so high is because you're talking about if you had an application maybe for 12, you had 6 architectural barrier and 6 exterior improvements.
So 25,000 for a total of 150. If you were talking to 6 applicants at 25,000.
Be apply. I don't have my phone with me, but which is my calculator sometimes, but it would be really, I would apply for the max that we could, because if we end up spending, everything on a home that we could, then we would maybe be able to do 7 instead of 6. It's just you're capped at applying for 6. But the max that you can apply for per home is 38,500 for the activity. But then you're also going to have our admin on top and our construction management for our housing inspector, but that's all paid by the grant. So.
I think the problem would be six applicants.
I would recommend that you take them first come, first serve, because otherwise all you're doing is extending the time. If you have to income verify all applicants, then I would. Now, North Liberty just rolled out their program today to announce it to their homeowners. And they set a deadline for receipt of applications, but they're going to take them first come, first serve. So we're going to date stamp them as they come in. And then as they get approved, because they also have to provide a lot of verification stuff for us to be able to do the work on them. So
Is the income of like percentage of the median income of the county?
it's low to moderate income, so it's 80%. So those levels are, I actually remember today. Can you believe it, Beth? Those numbers are for Jones County for a single person, that's 42,750. For a two-person household, that income limit is 48,850. For a three-person household, that's 54,950. And for a four-person household, that's 61,050. And they keep going up as the household sizes get bigger. But that gives you an idea. It's generally higher than what people expect it to be. And I would just, if you decided to move forward, Mayor, I'm thinking what I would want then is the service agreement, and then also an indication if you want me to, like, do we want to just do one particular program like exterior improvements, or do you want to open it up and see if there are people that would want to do architectural barrier instead of exterior improvements? I mean, cities generally like the exterior improvement one because that's going to deal with the envelope of the home, and, you know, but there might also be homeowners that need things to do to the insides of their houses too, in order to be able to stay in them.
I'm fairly new here. How
Uh-huh.
many people have used this before?
Have used it before?
Have applied? How many houses have we rehabbed? Let's put it
Oh,
that way.
gosh, I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know that. In previous programs, I don't know.
It's been a while since.
We
I
have
think
done this before.
No, actually, that's a good question. But I don't.
Okay.
I think it's been a while.
I was just wondering if there's been any houses, if we have,
Is this something that can be applied for more than once? Is it like once a year or just a one-time deal?
This is the one that you have for this year.
But you can, like, we could do 6 more next year, potentially too.
Yes, if you worked forward that fast, then yeah, you could apply again. Sure. I've worked with cities who have applied numerous times. You could probably have mine because I don't really need one. I'm loud.
well, you have to.
Talk to these people back here.
yeah,
Okay.
The ones on the,
Well, it sounds like a worthwhile program to at least attempt it and see what happens. I mean, as far as whether we do exterior or interior, I don't know what the demand is sitting out there for. There might be 6 people that want interior and nobody on exterior, or there may be, so I'd just soon kind of leave it open and try to figure out which way we go with it.
Can we intermix?
Those two you can. They don't allow you to this year, and last year they didn't allow us to do that. They made us choose one, but this year they're allowing us to submit an application with, you know, with both activity. You can't do them on the same house, but you can you can submit an application with some houses dealing with architectural barriers and some with exterior rehab. The way I have done the application this year then is I have a square on the front page where I say, are you 60 years of age or older, or you or a family member are severely disabled? And then I ask them to say which activity they might choose. And then if they don't know, to mark that too, because then our housing inspector would follow up with them and have a chat with them about what it is they need to have done, and maybe them decide, you know, which activity they should do if they're not sure. But if they know they need architectural barriers, because it's about widening doorways, changing bathrooms or kitchens that may need to be, you know, altered in order to adjust to somebody. You know, trying to make houses zero entry, putting in a ramp, things like that. So,
I'll make a motion to do this program with that understanding of mixing and matching the interior, exterior.
The only thing I was gonna say was, would we want to think about starting with exterior? I mean, just with nuisance, and we've got enough houses in town that, you know, it's gonna help the tax base potentially. It's gonna take care of eyesores. I mean, I think about driveways and broken up sidewalks. Does that count?
No.
Can you use it for that kind of stuff?
yes, you can if they're
I mean,
a
we got tons
danger.
of
Yeah.
sidewalks and driveways that are all beat up. I guess I'd like to focus towards the exterior. I mean, the interior is good too, but
Well, I'm just thinking if we've got somebody who is 60 years old and needs a wheelchair,
yeah, on that. But
So-
if they're not,
so-
if it's not a
I know,
disability
but-
type thing.
but I'm leaving the motion as I made it.
I think it's good to get on board with this, if that's what the council decides to do, and then just put feelers out to see what direction people are interested.
I mean, for the first time out, I'm willing to say, let's do this. And then next year, if we want to narrow the focus, we come back and we narrow the focus.
Or regardless, for a $3,000 cost, I think it's a pretty good benefit to the city.
Yeah.
We'll get better at it this year. So when next year when we do it, we'll have a little better idea how to get hold of these people too, because we have to explain to them what's going on. And some are going to wonder, well, is this going to cost me, or do I have to
Mhm.
spend some money too? And
Mhm.
Well, and if it's, we get 6, first come, first serve, there may be, if there's 15 that apply, then we say, okay, next year it's
Gets
coming
taken care of, yeah.
around, be ready.
word gets out, it spreads.
Yeah, I think one of our cities last year ended up getting about 15 or 16 applications, and we could just take the first 6 and work through those. Something you said made me think, oh, I know what it is. It's the one thing that the homeowners do have to agree to is a 5-year forgivable loan, because, and that's just to help not fix up a house and then have them move out. So, I mean, they can move out, or if someone passes away, then it would come back to the city as to what they want to do. But that 5-year loan, forgivable loan, recedes every year, 20% every year. And then let's say 3 years later, something happens, or they decide they have to move, then they may have to pay the city back. But they could also come to the city and ask for leniency for some reason, if that's, but we can cross that bridge when we come to
So
it.
there is-
I forget how I write it in the,
So there is a requirement that they have to stay in the house or they're dwelling for at least 5 years, for the 5 years.
yes, I mean, expect to pay a part of it back, like when they close or
Yeah.
when they,
And that's typical stuff. I mean, for most programs.
yes, most federal and state programs require something like
Yeah,
that.
that's a
Yeah,
typical Contract.
yeah. And it's partly just to make sure that folks aren't doing it just so they can fix it up and then turn
Yeah,
around
sell
and sell it. Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if there's a death in the family, or
Yes, I had the case where a family member passed away shortly after, actually, we finished a project, and I became the most hated person in the community. I mean, not the community, the owner, the man, because he really felt like he wasn't going to get enough money to be able to pay back. And the city council in his particular city decided not to give him leniency and was going to make him pay back. And yes, I'm sure there's a little voodoo doll with, well, that's been probably 20 years ago. So I'm still kicking. So I think it's okay.
I'll second Rich's motion.
A motion by Rich, second by Galen, to proceed with the housing program application on a mixed match basis. Any further council discussion? Any public comment? Rebecca, any public comment virtually?
None that I see.
All those in favor of the motion signify with aye.
Aye.
Okay. Motion carries unanimously to proceed with the housing program application.
Okay. Awesome.
Thank you,
Thank
Tracy.
You guys just want me to have something to do, don't you, for the next month? So I will get you things in the morning because I'd like to get it out right away.
Yep.
Okay,
So all
awesome.
Coordination now will be between you and Beth.
Yep. Yep. We'll have to have a public hearing for the app and they'll be like, you've been down this road. There'll be lots of stuff, but my hope will be to get it in as soon as we can, but it will depend on homeowners. So, okay, awesome.
All right,
Thank you
good.
guys.
Sounds good.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Look forward to this program, and see how it can change the face of some of the properties. 8.2, discussion possible action on purchase of GPS GIS pole and system. Robert Young, Steve Agnish, Shane Brown. One or all of yous? Looks like you drew the short straw today to be the spokesperson.
I guess. Robert Young, Water Department. So the reason why we're going with this, want to go with the poll is one, it alleviates kind of the HR Green agreement with everything, having them come out and do all of our GIS. And another thing is, so we get actual GIS positions on, say, valves, tees, and anything else, curb stops. So we have the ability as a city to do all that ourselves and collect the information. Then we know it's not just on top where they might think a water main is, or like even Steve, he's got some of his force mains that are off because they weren't there when it's put in. They came after the fact and now it's on the wrong side of the road and they have to fix it. So this also gives us the ability to do that as well. But our main thing is like, so if we find a curb stop, we can GIS it. Now, if it gets buried again, somebody asks us, where's my curb stop? We can take that GIS pole out there and find it for them again instead of guessing and metal detecting for it. So it just makes it easier for us to get an exact location for all of our stuff, as well as finding it for the homeowners.
No, it's okay.
Because also we can do, like on the Booth Street project with water services, we can GIS the corp, their curb stop, and then where it goes in the home. Now we have a direct line. If they ever ask, we can tell them exactly where their service line is or
And
anything
it's
else.
been so long since I've flown, I don't know.
Okay, could you mute if possible?
I did mute Kay, so
Good.
Thank
Kay,
you, Rebecca.
when Kay's done with her conversation, she can let us know.
Sorry about the interruption, Robert.
So, I mean, the GIS poll is just a good tool for the city to invest in. And any other, and Shane can use it in the cemetery for all the plots and stuff like that, instead of hiring all that out. Storm sewer, water main break repairs, instead of just taking a picture and getting a rough estimate of where everything is, we can get the exact location. So in the future, 10, 20 years from now, somebody comes in, they can see the exact location of these main breaks and say we have 5 main breaks and within 3 foot of each other, they can see the exact location. That could indicate, hey, we need to start doing some water main repairs in these areas. So it's just a good tool for the city to invest in. This is the cheaper one. I called some other towns, Marion, to be exact. They said they use this exact one. They don't need the more expensive one because this one works in millimeter mode, which gets you just as close as the expensive one. And they use it just everyday use. HR Green also uses this one, and they have no issues with it. So it'll just integrate with all of our stuff, and it just gives us more stuff to do and able to do on our own instead of contracting everything out and spending money that way.
So like all the locates I saw that you guys did in the last several months,
Mhm.
help on all of those locates then once you
It
get
can, yes.
once you get the system
It
mapped
can,
out.
especially like on a new development. If a contractor wants to know exactly where these services are, or where it tees, or if there's a leak in a tee and it's already buried, we can go out there with the GIS pole and give them the exact location and they can dig right there. And then we don't have to do this guesswork of where everything is.
Take a lot of time then.
Yes.
So how do you get it up and going? I mean, do you guys have to manually get it to the point where it's ready to use, or is that part of the cost?
So Mike Liska, I talked to him a couple days ago and he said he would come out, since he's part of the reason why we're trying to get this, and he's kind of the representative from HR Green. He does this every day. He did say he would come out and train us and show us how to use it. So once we get that training from him, we all should be able to use it on a daily basis. And that would be shared across the 3 departments or 4 departments or whoever needed it. We could just save it and either put it at the city hall or at one of the shops. And as long as people know where it's at and we're careful with it, it should last us quite a while.
Can you state what the overall cost is?
The R2 was 14,000 and some odd dollars, I believe.
Is that the 14,290?
Yes, yep, that's the one we want to go with. We don't see any reason, and I talked to both Marion and Mike Liska from HR Green, said we didn't really need to go with the one that was 24,000 or 20 something thousand.
25.
25,000. He said there was no reason for us to do that since we don't do it every single day and we don't have the engineering part of it.
How often is HR Green stopped out and what are they charging us per trip out?
So right now, we just have a contract for annually for GIS services. I believe water and wastewater's $8,000.
A year?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
Each. And then I think stormwater is 5.
Wow. So a couple of years and we'd have that paid for.
Less than-
Yeah, well, we'll still have them do some of the maintenance on our GIS system, but this integrates with it. So like when they go do the new development, instead of them coming to town and doing the actual GIS mapping, we'll do it and
Yep.
it'll upload into the system. So it just kind of eliminates them having
Yeah.
to come out so much. And I might have to look up and see what we do pay them per year, because I think might be more than that.
This says valid until May 31st.
Yeah, I talked to Mike Liska and he said that was fine. It was still valid.
Okay.
He would just talk to the guy again and we could order it. He did say there is a little bit of a lead time due to the whole computer chip thing, but he
Yeah,
said we could get it
probably
in.
6 months to a year.
No, he actually said it's only about a 2 to 4 week lead time on them. And then he'd come out and do the training with us.
So is there any annual maintenance fees for this or any type of annual fees?
It wouldn't be with, I'm pretty sure we could do something with HR Green as part of our contract, maybe, just to have them update it. But I wasn't aware of any.
Okay.
With him.
I didn't know if there was any software requirement updates or,
I think they would all coordinate with our regular GIS
Yeah.
system. So like the
Okay.
mapping we have, that does have, it's a subscription and an annual contract. for
Okay.
that, For the software.
well, I'll make the motion then to buy the 14,290.21.
I'll second.
Motion by Rich, second by Alan to proceed with purchase. Any other council discussion? Any public comment? Rebecca, any public comment for those virtually?
No, I don't see any.
Certainly appears to be a tool, as Robert pointed out, that, at some point it'll be cost effective, it'll pay for itself, let alone just having this device in your own control at your own leisure and not having to coordinate with someone to come in. It should be streamlined in a sense for scheduling and labor purposes. So glad to see that you guys did some homework with this and brought it before the council. With that, again, we have a motion by Rich, second by Alan. All those in favor of the motion signify with aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
Hey,
Motion carries unanimously.
Do you want to unmute Kay to see if she wants to vote?
Yeah. Rebecca, could you unmute Kay so we can
I've asked
hear how
her.
she casts her vote?
Yes, I've asked Kay to unmute. If she's listening, she should be able to get herself unmuted.
Okay, have you heard the motion by Rich and second by Alan to proceed with purchase? And if you have, how would you cast your vote? In favor or oppose?
She may be driving.
Yeah, she may be driving right now, so.
She's
I'll just leave
possibly
her as-
offline. So we have a unanimous vote for those who cast, which was a 5-member vote.
I'm unmuted.
There
Oh.
she is.
She just unmuted herself, okay?
Vote in favor.
Thank you. We now have a 6-member unanimous vote. Moving to 8.3, discussion of possible action on excavator purchase, Robert Young, Steve McNish, Shane Brown. Wow, they're really taking advantage of
I
you
think,
today, aren't they?
I think that Shane's got all the short straws in his hand. There aren't any long ones in there.
State, would you just please state your name?
Robert
again?
Young, Water Department. So, well, excavator, I did get 3 quotes. Bobcat, Takahuchi, and then Cat. As you guys see, Bobcat, there is an extra quote in there, and that was for a 3-foot bucket. That's not necessarily a need or anything like that, because with all the machines, they got all the same thing. They got a 2-foot bucket and a 1-foot bucket or an 18-inch bucket, whichever one they decided. They also come with a clam claw, a hoe pack, and a breaker. And then all these machines would be outfitted with a quick attach, one that gets rid of the possible pinching of fingers and everything else. And then guys happen to be pins in and out. Just makes it more efficient and less time consuming on changing buckets between attachments and all this. So as I was looking in the past 3 years, the city alone in the water department side has spent almost $40,000 contracting all this stuff out, when we need to start looking possibly to letting us do it, because now that we have a few more individuals that can run an excavator. Steve used to do this in Macokota for water main breaks, so he's experienced with it. I have some experience with it. Shane has experience with an excavator. So there's already a list of projects that we have that we could be doing. Just unfortunately, right now, we don't have an excavator, and I haven't rented one. We did demo the E85, which is just 1 year older than the E88. They moved to the E88 due to the counterweight. They just added some weight to the back of the machine. So Shane's got a list of stuff that we can do. We can do storm sewer. He's got a drainage ditch that we need to get done, and stuff like that. I've got water main breaks that we could be doing on our own. We've got curb stop repairs that we could be doing. We could be doing sidewalks. I've got meter pits. Like I said, we've got a long list of stuff that the city needs to get done that we shouldn't be contracting out. And this is just the step in the right direction of trying to get rid of the extra fees and extra money that we're spending towards hiring a full crew when we have enough people in the city to do this work ourselves.
Which of the brands do you prefer, Robert?
I do. I mean, I operate the Bobcat, and that does happen to be the cheaper one. Steve does like Bobcat as well. He ran that in Macokota, so I'd be in favor of the Bobcat. It is a decent machine, and they have a decent warranty, as you guys can see. Most of them for their 2-year factory warranty are fairly similar. But the one thing Rexco did tell me is that they will come to us to service it, and if it needs to be, they can repair anything, you know, here if they need to. And we have the shop and everything else that we can put it in for winter and all that stuff.
Will that be able to do water main breaks then, get down deep enough? I don't know what. this one's
So
capable.
most of these machines that the reason I went with this one is because it's got a 15, just over a 15-foot reach. So most of our mains are not that deep, but we do have some sewer mains that are slightly deeper than that. Unfortunately, it's not going to be, you know, usable out there on Caitlin where they are 30 feet deep. One, it wouldn't be safe, and 2, it doesn't have the reach. But it can do most of our water mains. It can do the storm. It can do all that stuff. And it also has the ability to lift the concrete pipe for storm sewer or a manhole or anything like that. And that's one of the biggest reasons I wanted to go with an excavator instead of a tractor backhoe, because I can actually swing behind me instead of having to move a tractor back around and try to maneuver it that way.
So basically you said, I think 3 years, the water department spent 40,000.
Roughly. And that's
Roughly.
mainly just on, and I didn't do anything else with, all I concentrated on was water main breaks, valve replacements and a hydrant repair.
Right, so could we assume that wastewater was close to maybe about the same?
I think they were probably a little bit more due to some of the manholes that they had to repair. The one on Main Street, then they had one out there on behind your building. They
Yeah.
had that sewer repair that needed to be done. So I'm sure they're roughly as close.
So theoretically, we're looking at maybe about a 4 to 4.5 year payback on it.
I mean, in 2014, we had 19 water main breaks, so they're roughly anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000 a piece. If we have another winter like that, it pays for quite a bit of itself.
You said that you feel that the Bobcat would do the best job, correct?
Correct. I think they're all equally matched.
Yeah.
It's just Bobcat happened to come in at a better price.
Since I've been on the council, been saying that I'd like to see the city do more in-house work themselves. And we've kind of fumbled around looking at different things, and I think this is a really good spot to make a change. It wouldn't take us that long for this thing to pay itself back, and I'm guessing probably 3, maybe 4 years. And I can't imagine it would break down that quickly. I've seen Bobcats run for a long time before you really have a lot of problems with them. They're a good machine. I'd move that we invest in this Bobcat.
Second.
I'll second it.
I do have a question on the budget part of it. Where would this be coming from?
So, well, some of it will be offset by not contracting those repairs. So, I mean, we do have quite a bit of money in there to contract repairs.
Okay.
So some of it will come off that way. Some of it will probably either have to just cut back on some other small equipment.
All right. I just was wondering where,
Yeah.
how far out to get it.
So we're looking September-ish timeframe, September, October, just because the steel and all that other stuff, everything's kind of backward, but I did talk to them around September, October is when we get it.
Do they have it? You guys already got a trailer to haul it, correct?
Correct.
Mhm.
The one that's at the wastewater plant does work. We had the E85 on it, which are roughly about the same weight. They're both 18,000 pound machines. So that trailer handles it just fine. We just got to get a couple more guys with the Class A. Which I can get, and everybody in the departments can get it if that's where we want to go with it.
So that will come out of fiscal year 21-22 budget then.
And it'll be split 3 ways.
3 weeks.
Split it.
Yeah.
Between the 2 years.
This split between 3 departments.
3
departments.
departments. It'll be the water,
Yeah.
wastewater, and.
But it'll
and the
be
street.
next year's,
Yeah.
it'll be the.
After July
upcoming budget.
I just want to know if the park department needs it, they're gonna be able to use it too.
Right, absolutely.
Yes, anybody that wants to run it, I mean, I wouldn't say anybody that wants to run it, any job that needs to be done with it, I'm 100% on board with. Anything we can do for the city to save money, I'm all for
Yeah.
helping whoever out.
In the long run, I think it will save money,
Yeah,
so.
and I think the departments seem to be working really well together right now, so I don't think we have an issue with that, of one department saying, no, you can't use it.
Yeah.
It just needs to make sure it goes to the high priority job site. If there's 2 jobs going, high priority.
Right. Any other questions?
I don't.
We have a motion by Alan, second by Jeff, to proceed with purchase of the Bobcat excavator. Any further council discussion? Any public comment? Any public comment virtually? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion to purchase signify with an eye.
Aye.
Oh,
Okay. Motion carried unanimous. Thank you, Robert. 8.4, resolution approving the hiring and setting salary for the position of deputy treasurer, central filing clerk for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2022.
So how many applicants did you have? Three. Okay. I'll move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Rich, second by John. This is a deputy position which allows you. Any questions for stuff regarding?
When would she begin?
Hopefully the first of July.
Yeah,
Mhm.
this will put you at the staff.
Correct.
It brings a smile to your face.
It does, very much so.
This will be full-time then, right?
What's that?
This will be full-time.
Correct.
Okay, good. That's cool.
Any other discussion? It's an employee matter. I'm not going to go for public comment. It is a roll vote. Beth, could
Yep.
you please conduct?
Lockhart,
Yes.
Zumba,
Yes.
Stout,
Yes.
Capron,
Yes.
Smith,
yes,
Crump.
Yes.
yes,
Thank you.
That was a unanimous vote casted. Look forward to her coming on board again.
Yep.
8.5, review and approve of agreement with City of Cedar Rapids for the relocation of Metal Design System, Inc. MDSI, a manufacturing company with operations currently located in the City of Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
And this is mainly just a formality, just because they're asking for economic assistance with the TIF agreement. Since they are relocating, they like both cities to be aware of what's going on. So once it's signed, I'll send it over to the city of Cedar Rapids and they'll go through the approval as well.
Move to approve.
Okay, I was just gonna say, they're giving up their, any TIF agreements or development agreements in Cedar Rapids.
Right, well, they don't have any, so it should be fine. It's mainly just to let them know that the jobs are leaving. And it's also to make sure they aren't just getting a TIF agreement here and moving to another town and doing that. So I don't see any issues with it. But
I'll second that.
I missed the motion.
Rich made the
I made a
I'm sorry,
motion. I'll
Rich.
second that.
Motion by Rich, second by Jeff to approve the agreement with the City of Cedar Rapids. Further council discussion? Public comment? Virtually? All those in favor of the motion signify with aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay, are you muted?
no, I agree.
All right,
Okay.
thank you. Motion carried unanimously. 8.6, review and approval of pay requests for request number one for the downtown facade project.
We'll go approve.
Second,
And a motion by Jeff, second by Kay. Any further discussion?
At what point did the building owners get billed? Is it periodic at the end?
So they pay us monthly. So
Okay.
they drop a check off at City Hall and just divide the amounts they pay. I believe it's over 9 months.
Okay.
And so they're paying now.
So we're getting the bill, but we basically collected all this from the individual property owners.
So not all of it. So their portion is divided into payments that they
Okay.
make to us. We end up paying for the whole thing. Then we get reimbursed for the 500,000 from the state, and then our portion is the 250,000.
That basically comes in at the end.
Correct.
Okay.
So I periodically submit packets of bills that we paid to the COG for reimbursement.
Okay.
It seems like they're not getting a whole lot done right now. Is it, do they?
They were working on tuck pointing, I know. That's what their plans were anyway. So I know they've set up like for bulk water and all of that for the tuck point.
Are they gonna be done with the projects they're working on by Ragbri?
No. It will still be under construction by
I
then.
think they're in tear out mode right now so they can put back together.
Right.
Okay.
Even torn apart, I think it looks like progress, so.
With this pay request, if the council approves, could we receive periodic updates and how
For
it is
the-
paid?
Sure.
Maybe best to keep council abreast on how the money they're spending is. So motion by Jeff, second by Kay to approve pay request. Any other discussion? Public comment? Rebecca, could you, yeah. When we're not at voting period, could you please vote, mute Kay's phone, but.
Yes, I can.
Now I'm asking for any public comment on this matter, on this agenda item. Virtually, any comments? All those in favor of the motion signify with aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carried unanimously. 8.7, resolution authorizing the city clerk to make the appropriate interfund transfers of sums and and record the same in the appropriate manner for fiscal 21 for the city of Anamosa, Iowa.
Second.
Motion by Alan, second by Rich. Further council discussion? Public comment? About virtually? Beth, would you conduct the roll vote?
Crump,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lockhart,
Yes.
Capron,
Yes.
Stout,
Yes.
Zumba.
Yes.
Motion to approve carried unanimously. 8.8, resolution approving the hiring and setting salaries of seasonal part-time employees for the Park and Recreation Department for 2021 summer season.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Rich, second by John. Further discussion? Hearing none. Beth, would you conduct the roll vote?
Capron,
Yes.
Crump,
Yes.
Stout,
Yes.
Zumba.
Yes.
Lockhart,
Yes.
Smith.
Rebecca, would you unmute?
I'm trying to, there we go. Okay, you're unmuted now.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I lost count. Was that all six?
Yes.
Motion to approve carried unanimously. Aye. Just get caught up in the moment, I guess. 8.9, review and approval of liquor license for Anamosa festivals for Ragbri, 5-day license period.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Rich, second by John. Any further discussion? Public comments? Virtually? All those in favor of the motion signify with aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay. Okay, were you in favor of the motion?
Well, she was unmuted. I'm going to ask her to unmute again.
Yes, I'm in favor.
Thank you. Six-person vote, all carried unanimously. 8.10, review and approval of May treasurer's report.
Move to approve.
Motion by Rich, second by Alan. Further discussion?
The expenditures for the police station renovation, that's the Ford Street,
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
that just design,
correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So far, we've just met with the architects.
Any other discussion? Any public comment? Public comment virtually? All those in favor of approval signify with aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carried unanimously. 8.11, review and approval of current bills.
Second.
Motion by Alan, second by Rich. Further discussion on the bills that have been submitted? Is there any public comment? Virtual comment? All those in favor of the motion signify with aye.
Aye.
Okay,
She muted herself. I'm going to unmute her.
well, okay, you in favor of bill payment?
Yes, I'm in favor.
Thank you. All those opposed signify with nay. Motion to approve carried unanimously. 9.0, city administrators report.
So citywide cleanup went well. 11,000 pounds of stuff was hauled to the landfill. 3,900 pounds of scrap metal was also picked up. I don't know how many tires. A lot of tires.
They just took it by the way.
So total cost of cleanup was about $2,000 with the landfill and the roll-off fees. Robert in the water department fixed the baby pool. It is running after all this time.
Good job.
Other than that, we're in the thick of our going live with the new system, so it's been a little stressful, but we're getting there. And the auditor, they haven't finished our audit report yet. They're just really behind, and good thing it's the state doing our audit because they'd be the one that'd be mad it wasn't turned in. So we're just going with it.
By the time they get it to you, you'll be doing the next one.
I'm already starting.
Any questions for Beth? A fine job getting maybe pulled back online, Robert.
Did you hand dig all the sand?
No, he's back.
10 10.0 mayor and council reports, 10.1 mayor's report. No report at this time. 10.2 council reports.
I've got one thing I can report. It hasn't got to anything with the duties that I've been assigned, but I met with I don't know if anybody has heard or not, but I met with the Anamosa town crier, the newspaper. And they're having financial problems. They're worried about continuing. It's a historical paper. I've been with this town for a very long time. And we did a little brainstorming, trying to come up with ways that they could improve what's going on. It was a good meeting. If you have questions, I can answer them, but I won't go into a lot of detail. I think they're going to be having a few more meetings. They're trying to bring a cross section of people in to see what they can do to make the paper better. I had suggested that they need maybe a few interesting things like history tidbits or something like that. One of the things that come up, it's just different ideas. So if you come up with something, wouldn't hurt to contact them and let them know. I'm not sure when the next meeting is, but like I said, it was a good meeting. It was a good cross section of people. There was about 12 of us, I think, at the time. So.
Thanks for that update.
Haven't updated for a while on Parks and Rec, but a few things going on there. The pool is open for business as of within the last week. The new slide that got refinished in the platform, those have been installed a while ago, but the slide is not working. They're waiting on a pump for the water slide, but hoping to get that piece. They have regular hours now. Monday through Friday is 1 to 5 and 7 to 9. And Saturday, Sunday is 1 to 5 and 6 to 8. They're in the process of getting new lifeguards trained, which has been a nationwide problem. They've got some of the new ones training with the more veteran lifeguards. They're not doing swimming lessons currently, but they plan to. Yeah, hats off to Robert, the baby pool, getting that going. Monroe Tennis Court will be getting resurfaced by Kleesner here coming up. We have a new Parks and Rec board president. Mike Warner has been on the board for some time, and he has retired from the position. And Heath Engelbart is now the Parks and Rec board president. So, and sounds like streets, water, and wastewater are all a lot of help to Parks and Rec and Shelley and staff. So appreciate that, guys. That's what I have.
The park board at full staff.
Yes, there's some openings. I think it'll be in July. They're gonna appoint. I think the way things shake down, there'll be like maybe one opening that they'll need to apply or appoint. So
Thanks for that update, Jeff.
Mhm.
Streets, water, wastewater, very appreciative of the entire team coming together and assisting when the parks are in need of a third hand. 11.0 public comment for items not on the agenda. We'll start if there's anyone in the chambers that would like to discuss with the council. Rebecca, is there anyone virtually who has public or has business with the council?
I am not seeing anybody.
None. I'm going to move to 12.0 closed session.
You guys are awesome. Good luck.
You want the motion for,
Yeah, you can.
I'll make the motion to enter into closed session for Iowa State Code Section 21.5C to discuss strategy with counsel in matters that are presently in litigation or where litigation is imminent, where its disclosure would be likely to prejudice or disadvantage the position of the governmental body in that litigation.
Second.
And let me intervene for just a second. This is Amy Reesner at Lynch, Dallas, filling in for Pat O'Connell. I just want to place on the record at this time that it is the city attorney's opinion that this matter falls within 21.5C, and wanted to just make sure that we indicate that in the minutes.
Thank you. I was going to request that acknowledgement right after the motion. So we have a motion by Rich and second by Galen to enter into closed session. As you have heard, the city attorney acknowledges that it is in best interest, or they approve it entering into the closed session. That needs to be a roll vote for this motion.
Yep.
So would you conduct that roll vote, Beth?
Smith? Rebecca, do you want to make sure Smith gets unmuted?
Yes.
Thank you.
Crump,
Yes.
Mockart,
Yes.
Zumba,
Yes.
Couch,
Yes.
Capron.
Yes.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, just a second, Rich. So it's unanimous to enter into closed session. Go ahead.
Well, my question unfortunately is, if Kay's driving, is she on speaker with somebody that is not?
Oh,
That was my concern I was going to bring up as well as I would.
we need the break out. Look,
Yeah,
you can leave Kay in the breakout session for now, but you want to send everybody.
she's outside. I
Oh,
think.
she's here.
Yeah.
Never mind.
She's arrived.
She has
She has
arrived.
arrived.
So,
All right.
Rebecca, at this point, we are definitely entering into closed session.
Okay, I will
any-
send you to the breakout room. And when you guys are ready to come out of breakout room for the return to open session, Beth, you can just text me and I can actually close the breakout room for you.
So the only one that will be virtually with us is the city attorney, correct,
Yep.
Rebecca?
Absolutely.
All right, thank you.
All right, I'm going to open the room, so you guys should be able to enter. Okay, and for everybody who remains, you guys can just hang out here until council comes back from closed session. It looks like there are two closed sessions tonight. So if you want, you could just hang out and we will see council when they get back. Okay, you guys will have to unmute the computer in the library room.
What?
Go down there and do all that. You're the one
Rebecca,
teaching
can you
old
hear us?
dog new tricks. You're the
Yes,
close-
we can hear you now.
Okay,
Too
we,
old for that.
we are in open session, Ms. Reasoner.
Thank you. According to my opinion as city attorney, there is no action on the matters discussed in the closed session.
Very well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Have a good evening.
You too. Thanks.
Uh, This is 1.1. Entering into closed session.
I'll make a motion to enter into closed session per Iowa State Code Section 21.5I for the evaluation of the professional competency of an individual whose appointment, hiring, performance, or discharge is being considered when necessary to prevent needless and irreparable injury to that person's reputation, and that individual has requested a closed session.
Second.
Motion by Alan, or excuse me, by Rich, second by Alan.
He's been called worse.
Yeah.
We will have Beth conduct a roll vote.
Crump,
Yes.
Capron,
Yeah.
Mockart,
Yes.
Smith, Zumba,
Yes.
Step.
Yes.
Motion to enter into closed session carried unanimously.
Okay, I will send you away again. If you want to, Beth, get up and send you all back into closed session. All right. I think most of you were here last time when we moved into closed session, but if y'all just want to hang out, we will be here until council moves out of closed session, and you can be around when they do their little bit of the open session at the end of the meeting.
Hi, Rebecca, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
All right, so at this time, we're returning to open session. And we're going to go to 2.0 adjournment.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Rich, second by John to adjourn. All those in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion to adjourn carried unanimously. Thank you, everybody.